Hey guys, what's going on? Flawless Exotic Creations, Will, Audra, coming to you guys with another video. This video we're going to be explaining a few things, hopefully, well, one specific topic, and hopefully we don't kind of go off the deep end with all that rain going on out there.
So we got a lot of rain if you can hear it.
Yeah, so it kind of sucks our mood out of us to get out there and get wet. But
because now when we go back up to the house,
right,
we're gonna be
drenched and wet. It's okay, but I got a steak up there waiting on me. So, wow. That being said, what we're gonna be talking about today is trying to start your breeding business. Whether you're gonna do it for fun or whether you're gonna do it legitimately for a business in a business capacity, or start it off as a hobby and develop it into a business. It's
another thing, like a lot of people don't want to do this as a full-scale business, and we understand that. It could be a side hustle though. Like a lot of people are looking for side hustles, and this is a great side hustle that you can enjoy because it's a hobby for you, but also make you a little bit of extra money on the side.
Right. And if it's structured properly, even if you don't want to make a whole bunch of money on the side, you can at least organize it to pay for itself.
Yeah, you can organize it to pay for itself, and then pay for maybe a little bit of freedom for your family, or vacations, or whatever you choose to use it for, or maybe something for your retirement.
So if you've been watching a lot of our videos, or if you haven't, definitely go binge watch a bunch of them. But we've built quite the collection, we think. And we based it around going out there, getting into projects we liked and we wanted to work with.
No, correction, what you liked to begin with. Now he's seeing the error of his ways, and we're getting into some of them that I like.
Whatever. Oh, but once you start finding the programs that you want to work with, you map out a business plan or a breeding program if it's not an official business for yourself, and it will give you a direction on what you want to go in. As you can see, we have a ton of snakes from all our unboxings and now stuff that we're producing, our imports and everything else. That does not mean that we're going to push you or try to direct you in that path. We just want you to at least know what's in front of you. That being said, when you start working these projects, don't chase the numbers per se, but you still have to chase the numbers. It is a numbers game. Everyone knows that, especially when you're working with the odds, because 50% of the time you're gonna get, the snake to throw a particular gene, whether it be recessive or incomplete dominant. So you're playing with the odds no matter what. Absolutely. So when you decide to jump into some of these programs, especially some of these recessive programs, it's harder, to pretty much produce visuals and double visuals and triple visuals. And for the sake of this video, to make sure it makes sense for you guys, we'll talk about clown pods. Draw your planning out according to your program and according to your funding. Bottom line, do not overextend yourself, but be smart about it. Even if you're telling yourself, hey, I want to create something just for me, I want to create a double visual, I want to produce a clown pie, I don't want to go out and pay a bunch of money even when the market was high, or maybe even where it is now, that may be kind of pricey to produce, but I want to produce something for myself. That being said, it's like, okay, cool. What's the time constraints on it? Do you want to produce it next year? There's a lot of variables you need to consider. If you want to produce it within the next 2 years, you need to focus in on what you really want. So if clown pods is it, you can do it a couple of different ways. If you go the double het route, say double het to double het, I'm sure you'll end up being fine. I'm sure you'll hit a bunch of visuals one way or the other. And double visuals is going to be I guess it's not impossible, but you will hit it eventually if you keep at it.
If the odds are with you.
Right. But the name of the game we would want to play in that will be the numbers game. So if you're doing a double visual or double het to double het, then typically you're going to want to at least have 2 females, so you increase your odds. Yes. But then what you have to worry about is where are those babies going to go that you don't want to hold back, because a lot of that stuff is going to be pos het or double pos het. Make sure that those babies are going to have homes that you're going to be able to place them with, or sell them or wholesale them to. Make sure you have the means of moving those babies, which comes into play the way that we like to approach it,
which kind of what he's referring to is like, if you have been following along with us for a while, you know that we have a series that's called What's in the Box. And in one of the videos in the last little bit, it was what we are talking about is clown pods.
Right.
Which was, our pairing was,
we had a leopard, clown, 100% het pod, male, bred to our pod, female that's double het, albino, clown.
And clown. So in our thought process with what we wanted to do, we wanted to get it going pretty quick like. So we ended up actually getting, you know, what we wanted out of that box. I mean, obviously in a perfect world, we had 8 eggs, and, you know, in a perfect world, all 8 eggs would have been all the visuals, you know. Right. But we ended up in a great situation as far as for our program, what we want to do in producing. We ended up with 2 visual across the board. We had 2 visual leopard. 2
all geners.
Yeah, leopard, clown pods. When one was a female, one was a male.
It's perfect.
So it's awesome for us.
So even in this market, roughly $2,500 each snake, maybe more.
Yeah. So it worked out for us. If that is something that you wanted to really push forward, chances are you may not get that. You may not get even one, you know, triple across the board, your visual across the board, if you're going with just hets. You see what I'm saying?
And we're not saying don't go with the hets. It's just we're saying that
it's going to
take a longer time. And even if you're fine with the time, just make sure that you know what you're going to do as far as placing the babies. For instance, the babies out of that clutch that she's referring to, that, you know, weren't the double visuals, we still put that breeding up there where the babies are still going to be highly sought after by other people working the project.
So they'll be able to go to, they'll have some value, so they'll be able to go to homes that we know they're going to actually be taken care of and used appropriately and all those things, because there is some value to them. So, and that, you know, that's a win-win for that particular clutch. It wouldn't have been a win-win if we had went the more het route. Right. Because then it's a little bit more difficult.
Worry about really trying to move pos het babies, and we're not saying that you can't. No. We're just saying that it's a different avenue you kind of have to go down. And the same thing with us. Even if you want to not only produce that animal but make a financial return, you got to take it one step further. Yeah. Not only do you have that, we have that one, you know, female that was pod, you know, double het albino clown. We also have clown pod female in the breeding program. We also have other, you know, clown, I'm sorry, 2 clown girls that are 100% het pod that's in that program. Yep. You know, where at the end of the day, breeding our male, and also we have another higher intensity orange dream clown male that's het for pod. But the point we're trying to make is our goal was to hit animals like those. And we have to keep them and grow them out so we can further our program. But guess what? You don't get to make the $2,500 each snake for those. No. You don't. You get to earn the snake, which is great, but you also can only make financial return on what you sell out of that clutch. So if you can increase the amount of females strictly in that project, you can also keep everything you need and move snakes of substantial value on to other people working that program, thus bringing back more return on your investment. So that's the major point we wanted to hit home. You can work with anything you want to work with, just make sure that you're going to have somewhere where you're going to be able to at least, you know, have an outlet to move the babies you're creating, because if it's more common, you see it in the market now, if it's more common, there's going to be less demand. Okay, so if it's more rare or not as readily available, then there's going to be more demand for it. Supply and demand.
I was about to say, supply and demand is simple economics. It's business 101. Like, when your demand is high and your supply is low, the price goes up. When your supply is high and the demand will fall, and your price will fall.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Perfect planning. Yeah. So it's Will, Audra, Flawless Exotic Creations. We are out.
Bye.